One of my first business coaches helped me create $20,000 out of thin air. So I had this software development client and they were good people, but they didn't communicate well. And to be fair, I didn't manage them well either. And the result was we were way, way, way over budget, but I'd given them a hard number. So I was keeping my word, but they kept asking for more stuff. It was like I defined the breadth of the scope, but not the depth. So we knew that it had to have these 50 features, but I didn't fully understand how complex each of those 50 features was. This was a long time ago, and I wasn't very good at managing a project like this. And the result was, I'd bid $30,000 and we had now done $100,000 worth of work, and there was still more to come. And my business coach actually went to bat for me, and we set up a meeting with my coach and the client and me. And I was scared to death to ask for more money. And he just went in with all this confidence in the world. And he said, so here's the situation, guys. We want this to be a mutually beneficial relationship. And right now it's not for us. Like we have spent 3 times what you paid for us to do. And we recognize that some of that is our fault and some of that is your fault. And so here's what we'd like to propose. So really, we've done an extra $70,000 worth of work. We're going to bill you $20,000 in an effort to at least make this so that we don't go bankrupt. And sure enough, before we left that day, they wrote us a check for 20 grand, and they were thanking us for being reasonable and generous and only charging them for cost instead of what, retail rate was. And what I learned that day is that most people are reasonable. Everybody knew that we'd done way more work than what they'd paid for. And even though they could have stood on principle and been really ugly about it and probably would have bankrupted us. Back then, $20,000 was a lot of money. That was like, I was having a hard time making payroll. For me, I would have never asked for that. I was too shy. I was too insecure. I was afraid of ticking him off. And my business coach earned his keep that day easily. When you get in a situation like that, if you're just honest with people and reasonable with them, usually you can achieve a pretty good compromise.